Hi, welcome. So today we are just going to look at how to enter data in Excel. Remember, we are taking this Excel from zero, from the absolute beginner to we go on to intermediate and advanced subsequently. So last video we looked at the Excel interface. So in this video we are going to show you the different ways of entering data in Excel, like being on the cell and in the cell. So let's just go to the computer and look at that. So last video we had this, we're looking at Excel interface, so you can go back and watch that video. I'll just type this interface, then I'm just going to press enter, and then I'll click on this plus here to create a new sheet. Double click on this sheet 3 here, double click, and I'll just call this maybe data entry. Yeah, so that's fine. So now we are going to look at that. So entered data in how to enter data in Excel. There are 4 main ways. Let's look at them one by one. So the first one is just to start typing. So you can just type directly, say name, and you press say enter, and that's done. The second way is using the formula bar. So you can have the formula bar is just up here, if you see, right up here, and you can just type there directly. Let me type the same name again. So you see it's already being displayed down there, and then you press enter. And a third way is just copying maybe whatever you've typed. Could be this or this. I'll just select the two, copy, and then maybe come here and paste. So that's another one, being able to copy and paste. Then the fourth way is to be able to use autofill. So let me just zoom in so that you can see that clearly. So I'm zooming in. Now when you hover around here, you would see that the plus will get smaller when you come to the right angle. It doesn't get that small on the left, but it's on the right. So if I click here, then the autofill command is activated. So if I pull it down, you see it autofills. It's like copying what I have already written to the other cells. So let me go back, undo with the quick access undo here, and then I pull this in the middle without waiting for it to have that cross here. You see we have, it doesn't do anything, it doesn't have any effect. So you need to be ensure that you hover around here, you get that thin cross, then you pull it down, and when you pull it down now it's going to autofill for you. Now there is a fifth way of getting data in, being importing data from external sources. Yeah, like get from CSV, from the web, from other sources. We'll look at that subsequently, but for now the basic ways of entering data is just like this, typing like that, using the formula bar, copying and pasting somewhere else, and then using your autofill for that. So we'll look at those things later, the other ones later. So there is also an interesting thing to know about Excel. Maybe you've been in other programs and you come to Excel, you might be surprised. It's the concept of being on the cell and in the cell. On the cell is like being on top of the cell, and in is like in. I'll just show you here. So on this name, for example, if I wanted to add S to this, if I just press S directly like that, it cancels out everything. So it's on the cell. So when you're on the cell, anything you type is going to erase everything else that was in that cell. So if I don't want that, which is not what we wanted, I want to type the S, add to the name, so it becomes names. I have to double click here to go in the cell. So when I double click, that is I'm in. If you see there's a line here, it's blinking here now. So I can add S, and I'm in the cell. It doesn't erase everything, it just adds to what is already there. I could move up and move to the left with the left arrow, or move to the right with the right arrow, and then we say move to the left and say, okay, I want a small n, not a capital N. I'm going to press backspace here, backspace, then I press N, and now I'm able to edit things while I'm in the cell. But as soon as I go out of it, let's say I press enter. Oh, sorry, I press enter and something else. I'm just going to go back to undo again. As soon as I am out of it, like now, if I press S again, I lose everything. So remember, times you might be typing something and you're losing it and you don't know why. It's because you're on the cell. So to make sure you don't lose what you've been typing, make sure you're in the cell. So let's move on then. Another thing to know when you're entering data is using enter. So I'm just going to use an example here, name again. Then I press enter. It takes me down. Then I'll say John. And then now, whenever I press enter again, it takes me down. I say Mary. So you see, each time you press enter, you go down. So if I want to go up using enter, I'm going to hold down shift, that without using the keyboard, and then I press enter, and you see I go back up. So I'm going to show you why this is important just in a while. Now I'll move on to the right by pressing tab, and then I press H. I type H, and then I okay. So you notice when I move to the right and I press enter, the cursor came back to John here. It didn't go under the H here. So this can be helpful for your data entry. I'll just do it again so you can understand that. So if I use tab again, tab, and then I press 30, watch this. When I press enter this time, instead of it going below 30, it's going to go to the right, to the left, to Mary. So I press enter, it goes here. So as soon as I'm not using the mouse to do that, the enter and the tab can help me manipulate and move around this easily. So I press enter, I go down, press shift enter, I go up, then press tab, I go to the right, press shift tab, I come back to the left. And it's going to help because if, for example, I'm filling so many lines here, maybe like salary, so many lines here, I have so many lines, I can take one observation right to the end. I'll say John, again, John, tab, 30, tab, 5,000, then I'll press enter and you'll come to the next line. Then I'll take Mary, tab, 40, tab, 10,000, enter, I come to the next line. Had it been I was using the cursor, I'll take Peter, then I click here, I take maybe 60, then I click here, I take 3,000, then I press enter. You see it only comes down here. So if I had a very long wide database, each time I'll be coming down here. So just know how to use the enter and shift without necessarily using the cursor. So if you have a long database, your tab will take things this way, shift tab will bring them back this way, enter will take them down, and shift enter will take them back up. And after you enter each observation, you press enter, it will always come back to the next line. You enter them like this with tab, press enter, it's always going to bring you back to the next line. So I hope it helps you to be able to enter your data faster, especially if you're dealing with lots of data in your job. So another interesting thing to know is that you could drag and fit this based on the size of your data. You could drag and fit it. So but then an easy thing to do is just to select this, double click, and then it auto adjusts for you. And you could also insert a new column here, insert, right click on insert, and add whatever you want to add there, maybe school or whatever. And then you could also right click here, insert, and add whatever you want to add here. So that's it here. Okay, and that's it. So I hope you are able to understand how to manipulate data, enter data with the different ways of entering data, what is on the cell, in the cell, so you don't lose your data when you're trying to modify it. We are going to continue with editing and editing numbers, currencies, dates in the next video. So see you next video. Thank you. Wish you good data law.